Hi everyone, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the informative essay. Hopefully you watched the video about how to incorporate sources. So let's talk about our second major essay in the course, the informative essay. So just like expressive writing, there are characteristics that are conducive to that genre. And so the characteristics of informative writing includes conveying information about a subject or topic clearly and accurately. So keeping it very objective and no use of personal pronouns. So it has a purpose of increasing the reader's knowledge. So just as with a textbook, think of textbook writing. It's very objective. There's no personal pronouns. It's very clear. It incorporates facts and examples and details to explore the concept. It utilizes sourced material and an assumption of truth, and it limits all of that personal subjective information that we just got done using on the expressive essay. So we're focusing on just the facts, right? Just facts, ma'am. So examples of informative writing, are a newspaper article, a brochure, your textbooks that you use for your classes. It can be informative magazines, all sorts of things like this. These are all examples of informative writing or the informative genre. So there are some videos that you can watch in the PowerPoint itself. So if you'd like to watch a video about this, there is another YouTube video that talks about remembering to leave opinion out of informative writing. So step one for your informative essay is to define your subject. And there are different ways you can define a subject. Compare and contrast is one easy way to define. Classifying your topic, cause and effect, those are all some examples of ways that you can define or explain what your subject is or what your topic is. Obviously, pulling a definition from a source is extremely important as well. And so making sure you decide whether you're going to quote, summarize, or paraphrase that definition is also equally important. So make sure you watch the QSP video. When it comes to informative writing, we say think like a journalist. So you're thinking about the who, what, when, where, why, how questions when it comes to your topic. So giving as much detail as possible to help define the topic itself. So step two, you want to think about how you're going to break down your subject into 3 or 4 main points. So this becomes your thesis. For example, you have a thesis of research reveals that human love exists on the foundation of evolution, biology, and chemistry. So there is a sample essay that you can read about love and relationships, and this is how they break down human love: evolutionary, biological, and chemical. So the reader knows exactly how you're going to break down that topic. Think about a textbook that you read. Those headings are the way that they're breaking down information. Headings can also be really important, FYI, when you're reading your text. Think about how you're going to break it down and then outline it as such. Another example is cannibalism can be divided into 2 main categories. Delicious. Exocannibalism, which is the eating of outsiders or people outside your tribe, and endocannibalism, the eating of one within one's own group. So delicious, right? If you didn't know that, now you know about cannibalism. That's an example of another thesis. The reader knows exactly where you're going with your essay, and then you would actually follow that line. So for example, with the first one, if you give in your thesis evolution, biology, and chemistry, your paper should follow that as well. So you would talk about evolution first, then biology, and then chemistry. And same with cannibalism, you talk about exocannibalism before you talked about endocannibalism. So on all of our papers from here on out, you are going to be defining your audience and considering your audience. So I want you to consider who would be interested in your topic. Keep in mind, I am not your audience for this paper. Your audience should be specified by you. So if I'm writing a paper about maybe a sports genre or type of sports or a sporting team even, I would consider who would be interested in learning about a sports team like that. So, sometimes this requires some stereotyping, but that's okay in terms of finding audience. So age. So if I'm writing a paper about, say, glycolysis. Well, glycolysis is a pretty heavy topic. So I'm going to go with an older age, maybe 18 to 30. My gender could be both male and female. And my education level would probably be high school and above. So again, if you're picking a really heavy topic, it could be a higher level, whereas if I'm picking a topic like the Liverpool soccer team, my age range could be anywhere from 12 to 50. My gender would be potentially males. I mean, it's both males and females, you could argue, but perhaps you wanted to narrow it to males. And then your education level could be, grade school and above. Think about what your audience might know already about the topic. Think about what new information you're going to bring to the topic. And then think about how you're going to get your reader's attention. So some ways you could get your reader's attention is to start off with a quote. You could start off with a shocking statistic or an interesting fact or a factoid that you think is very interesting. Think about how you're going to get your reader's attention. You can even ask a question as the attention getter. Finally, I want you to think about, where would this essay appear if it was published? Would it be in a magazine? Would it be in a newspaper? Would it be an online blog? That all helps you understand your audience. Consider too, informative topics often benefit from pictures, headings. I definitely want you to use headings in your paper to specify content areas, just like you would in a text. 14-point bold is often a nice break from the 12-point font. Graphs, charts, headings, you could even potentially use a cartoon. So if you pull a graphic from the web, please make sure you put the URL underneath that graphic. I haven't done that in this PowerPoint, and I apologize for that, but there should be URLs directly underneath that image. So I've given you a sample outline in the course site. Please take a look at the outline. It helps you to understand that you need to have an outline for this paper and how you might want to set it up. So you can use topic sentences for each content area if you want. Make sure all the information in that paragraph then supports that topic sentence. You don't want to stray from your topic or your topic sentence. If your essay topic, for example, is like body dysmorphic disorders, and you break that into causes, effects, treatments, then your first paragraph should just be all about the causes. You shouldn't be introducing information about the treatments when you're saying that your topic of that section is causes. So you would just want to look at the causes of body dysmorphic disorders. So here's an example of that outline for a body dysmorphic disorder paper. So you would have an introduction with your thesis, a definition of body dysmorphic disorders. That's probably within your introduction, but it could be on a separate paragraph. The causes of BDD, so maybe it's maternal deficits, childhood traumas, and genetic history, and that's what you find out through your research. This is going to really depend on your research. The effects, so low self-esteem and social isolation, and then the treatments, so psychological therapies and medical therapies. And then they went on to discuss patient outcomes. And then provided a conclusion. So each of those areas would have special areas underneath them that you're going to expand upon. Make sure you really use your research wisely. It's so important to make sure you search your topic well. There are some ideas that you can brainstorm. Please take a look at these. Consider something that you're majoring in. If you'd like to explain a topic within your major area, that's great. Or just something you're interested in. The definition and description of the informative essay can also be found on your course site. So please take a look at the definition. If you go to the course site, that would be the top item, and it gives you a full description of the informative essay for you to take a look at. Again, it reminds you of things like using a definition, using sources. I would prefer that you find a book For your one of your sources, so you'll want to go to the library here at ICC and try to find a book. The reason why I encourage you to find a book is because one, you'll have plenty of information to work from, and two, you'll see how the book breaks down your topic. That helps you to decide how you're going to break down your topic as well. Because you are using sources, you will need to remember to include a works cited page and a title page. So please make sure you include both of those. Your final paper should be over 1,000 words or 4 pages long. Each page is about 1,000 pages in length. If you have questions about the informative essay, please email me and I will be happy to respond to any questions you may have. Good luck as you start to write, and best of luck on your informative essay.